This is the story about the mines and town of DeLamar, Nevada. It was in 1891 that two prospectors, John Ferguson and Joseph Sharp, were prospecting for gold and silver in a region called the Monkeywrench Wash. This location was further up the wash from where the old Monkeywrench mine was located. At first, this mining camp was named Ferguson because it was named after one of the prospectors, but as you will hear shortly, the name of the mine and town would very soon be changed. In 1893, a big-time mining investor from Montana by the name of Joseph DeLamar came into town with pockets full of cash. He decided he wanted to buy a gold mine, so after shelling out $150,000, he ended up owning the best claims and mines and then set off to get producing. It was at this time that the name of the town was changed to DeLamar, as Joseph wanted the town named after himself. One of the mines that Joseph bought was the April Fool mine. The first thing that was done was install a 10-stamp mill so the ore could be milled on site. By the time the mine was in full production, there were about 30 workers on the payroll. By 1895, the town already had a couple thousand residents and there were several shops, 2 churches, a couple hotels, a blacksmith shop, the regular saloons, and even an opera house. They even got its own newspaper called the DeLamar Lode and a post office. Water for the town was pumped in from a well some 12 miles away. Supplies came in through mountain passes, by mule trains from Milford, Utah, and the gold concentrates and the ore went out the same way. The gold in this region was in decimated quartz veins, and all this ore had to be put through a stamp mill, and the concentrates were then shipped out. One of the problems was there was very little water, so the ore had to be dry stamped. All the milled tailings were dumped out in piles out over the edges of the hillside. These tailings were nothing more than fine silica dust, and this dust would blow everywhere throughout the town. It wouldn't take long before people were getting sick and dying of silicosis from all this toxic silica quartz dust. This is how the town got its nickname the Widowmaker, due to all the premature deaths from the dust. It is said that at one time there were over 400 widows living in DeLamar. Many of the grave markers in the town's 2 cemeteries are testaments of how these folks died. Then in 1900, a fire swept through the valley and burned half the town down. After that, the town was only partially rebuilt. In 1903, Joseph DeLamar sold the mines and claims, and the new owners of the mines built a new stamp mill, and this mill could pound out 460 tons per day. By 1906, DeLamar was the 3rd richest district in the state, only outdone by the new mines at Goldfield and Tonopah. In fact, between 1895 to 1900, a period when Nevada mining was experiencing a depression, DeLamar accounted for over half of all mineral production in the entire state of Nevada. Around 1909, the ore started to lean out and it was very hard to turn a profit, so mining was curtailed. The mill was now outpacing the amount of ore being mined, so mill shifts were reduced, and by 1914, the last of the available ore had been mined out. At this time, people started to leave town and moved out to other camps. During its years of operation, more than $15 million worth of gold was produced from this mining camp. Today there are still remnants of the old town and where the mill once stood. A lot of the buildings were made of stone, and you can still see the skeletal remains of some of these buildings. I hope you enjoyed this short story about the old mines and town of DeLamar, Nevada. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you more old lost mine stories.